so I went to all these Western doctors. They tried to, get me on 100 pain pills and 50 pain pills. I actually looked at one of the doctors and I was like, how much do you get for prescribing me these 100 pills? And he was just taken back.
I bet.
He couldn't believe that I straight up just called him out, because it's true. These guys are getting flights and perks and
kickbacks.
Yeah, huge kickbacks.
All right, guys, we got Andrew Genovese here today, and he's brought the coolest water bottle I've ever seen. So we got to start with this. What is going on there?
Yeah, so this is the Lumavite hydrogen water bottle. A lot of people are, obviously 100% of the world pretty much is extremely dehydrated. And this is putting molecular hydrogen into our bottle. And hydrate, where does the hydrate come from? Hydrogen. So, right, a lot of people are drinking tap water. They're drinking water that is not actually hydrating them. So it's not really about quantity. It's more about quality. And so this thing is, emulating Earth's magnetic core. It is pumping frequencies into the top of the bottle from the great central sun. So it's
wow.
The man who created this is tuned into some stuff.
That's next level. I might have to get into that.
Yeah, it's a next level hydrogen water bottle. So as soon as I tuned into it, I was like full body, yes, okay, get involved in this thing.
Wow. So when you say tuned into it, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I just get quiet, breathe, especially now with our spiritual abilities coming online, and I just tune into the energetic signature of a thing, a place, a person. And it either comes through yes or no. So
wow. So is that a form of talking with your spirit, you think?
Yeah, talking with God, talking with your higher self. There's many ways to spin it, but obviously in the time of great awakening, our spiritual abilities that seem out there at one time are coming back into us, are returning back into us.
And that's a powerful skill to have. I don't have that ability yet, but I do have a spiritual mentor. I'll run potential business partners by her, potential friends, and even dogs, and it's just really valuable, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a society that's living from here, living from the mind. And as we continue to awaken, we move into our body, into our heart, into our intuition, right? Rather than continuing to outsource and waiting for other people to tell us what to do. We're coming back to our intuition, which is the real knowing.
Right. So I know you had a health crisis in 2018. Was that what sparked this spiritual journey for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, my entire life fell apart. I lost my business. I was having to live with a family member for 4 months while literally I had this intense pain in both of my hands and arms. Could barely even dry my hair. So every time I grabbed a bottle, I was reminded of how intense what I was going through was. So it was just always there.
Wow. And
I was guided back to my breath after going through the Western route, which I already knew didn't work. But I was guided back to my breath and my body started shaking and spinning around. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know what breathwork really was, but I started doing it every day. And then I started putting together, oh, wow, I'm releasing emotions. I'm coming back home to my body. I'm feeling more calm, feeling more connected. And it was just life changing. And then that led me to thousands and thousands of hours of discovery with my breath. And that came the big universe-shattering awakening that I had of just so much information coming through to me of, just what I was here to do, who I was. But it was really the breath that shifted everything for me during that time.
That is fascinating.
Heavy time.
Wow. So what was the medical condition you had?
Yeah, so in essence, my mom was like, go to the doctors, they can help you. I'm like, they can't. These doctors don't learn anything about other than a symptom and how to dish out drugs.
Right.
And so I went to all these Western doctors. They tried to, get me on 100 pain pills and 50 pain pills. I actually looked at one of the doctors and I was like, how much do you get for prescribing me these 100 pills? And he was just taken back.
I bet.
He couldn't believe that I straight up just called him out, because it's true. These guys are getting flights and perks and
kickbacks.
Yeah, huge kickbacks. And so from that moment, something inside me just knew that I was going to be fine and it was going to work out. And really, it was just chronic inflammation. Years of partying, drinking, drugs, not taking care of my body, and just severe anxiety, just pent up. Just eventually my body just couldn't take it anymore. And it was through breathing, through moving the energy energy and motion, emotions. Breath is energy, the body is energy. So through working with energy, this ancient medicine that breath is, I was able to heal my body and come back into what was the most important couple months of my life in New York City.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was the breathwork technique you were using? Because I do the Wim Hof every morning, but I know there's multiple techniques.
Yeah, during that time, I was doing a lot of what I would refer to as cobra breath. So I was just inhaling in through the belly, exhaling, belly contracting. But I was also playing with, and I didn't really know, honestly, what I was doing. I was really just experimenting and getting curious. And through that, I just continued to just release, and I just continued to feel better. And my hands continued to lighten up. And I was like, holy shit, this is powerful. Like, people need to know that this exists. Something that's free, something that they have available to them all the time.
Right.
Like, your breath is medicine. It's the most ancient medicine. It's quite possibly the most powerful medicine that we have because it's not out there. It's literally right here. It's always been there. And we've just forgotten it.
I'm a huge fan of it. Even in nature, it feels so amazing just to breathe some nature in, man.
Yeah. When you're connected to the earth and you can hear the sound of the creek running or the river running and the wind hitting your skin, and to connect to your breath, it's just
feels so good. When I ground on some nice grass, people watching this are like, who are these weirdos? No, that shit feels amazing, man.
Yeah, the planet couldn't have enough of it.
Yeah.
Just taking time just to actually do proper connection, just connecting to the earth, ourself, God, creator, universe, whatever word you want to call it.
Yeah. I've heard of some people even hallucinating off just breath work.
Bro, I've held space with breathwork for thousands of people, and I have had many people, 45, 50, 60 people say, Andrew, I've sat with ayahuasca 6, 7 times. The journey that I just had in this dimensional breathwork journey was more powerful than any of those ayahuasca ceremonies.
Whoa.
That's not because of me. That's because of them. That's them tapping into their own inner wisdom to heal through the breath, of having these extrasensory experiences and these multidimensional experiences of, for example, I had one woman, she had a breath journey, and her sister died suddenly in a car accident. She had a tremendous guilt for not being there with her sister. She felt like she was supposed to be in the car with her. And she had been processing this deep shame and guilt for years and years and years, that she wasn't there. And then her sister came to her in this journey and said, you let it go. You don't have to be mad. I have so much love for you, and you don't have to hold on to this anymore. And she just wept the last 30 minutes of the journey. And
wow.
And afterwards, she came and hugged me, and she's like, you just changed my entire life. And I was like, I didn't change your life. You did. You were the one who chose to show up today. I didn't tell you to show up. And so, yeah, I've gotten to witness, things of that caliber that shift people that dramatically just through breathing.
Dimensional breath work. How does that work?
Yeah. So dimensional breath work came to me through my own journey with the breath. And I just asked a simple question. How can I help people find their own divinity within themselves? Well, how can I provide a space for people to realize how powerful they are? And that came dimensional breath work. A couple rounds of breathing in through the nose, 2 to 3 rounds of breathing in through the nose. And then the majority of the part of the session, which lasts about an hour and 15 minutes, happens lying in Shavasana, breathing in through the mouth. The mouth, we should never be breathing in through our mouth throughout the day, but breathing in through our mouth when we're using it for healing purposes, right? Much more prana energy can enter the body and communicate with all the cells and, right, get into the pineal gland, shake the tiny little piezoelectric crystals in the pineal gland, and then open us up to God, universe, and these profound multidimensional experiences. So,
wow.
Yeah, I've been very humbled and blessed to witness a lot of just mind-blowing things with what the breath can do for people. It kind of never gets old because you're just like, wow, like this is what someone can experience through something that they can literally do at any time, any day. It's always been there. It's always there.
Incredible. Do you need a guide for something like that, of that level?
It can be helpful to have a guide, especially when you're processing something really deep.
Yeah.
Some deep shame or rage, anger. And of course, someone can totally do it at home alone. But yeah, definitely can be helpful for someone, especially who's just awakening in the last maybe year or 18 months, to have that support, of the container to just weep, cry, yell, scream, and just have this safe space where they really feel safe to go deep into these places of themselves that they deemed, unlovable or unworthy. And so to have that safe space is, it's really profound for people,
Yeah, I'm excited to try it, man. I've never done it, but I think my third eye's been a little calcified over the years from fluoride and all the other stuff.
Yeah. All of our pineal glands have been extremely calcified through years of fake foods. I mean, there was a point in time where I was literally eating fast food like every day.
Damn, same to be honest though. Burger King.
Not 3 times a day, but like once a day a lot of the time, drinking excessively. So God source energy was not pouring through me because I was just blocked.
Right.
And that's the case for many people who are just, in the debt slave matrix of working in their computer, making phone calls, and not actually ever taking proper time to really connect in
Right.
themselves.
So are you vegetarian now? Because I know there's this narrative where the meat you consume has a certain energy. So if it's raised in a poor environment, it can affect you spiritually, right?
Yeah. So I've been plant-based for 6 years. I was guided to do that very strongly because for me, I didn't want to consume flesh anymore. It didn't resonate with me. And the way I see it is I'm not willing to take a knife and cut a pig's throat or a cow's throat. So I'm not going to eat that animal because that doesn't resonate for me. And we are coming into a time where we are going to live in harmony with the animal kingdom and not need to kill them for our food. So,
You think so?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100% believe that.
Because right now the big farm industry seems huge and there's thousands of animals they're slaughtering every day.
Yeah. So there's no shame or judgment on anyone that is eating animals. Everyone is where they're at in their own individual journey. But I can only just speak for me that it doesn't resonate. And there's a lot of people who I work with that are like, same, it just, over the years of my awakening, I just didn't feel called to consume flesh anymore. It's a frequency, it's an energy.
Right.
When we're consuming organic tomatoes, zucchinis, cucumbers, right? That food is being powered by the sun. We are solar beings. We come from the sun. Solar feminine, solar masculine. And so when we're eating that light from the sun, it's powering us in a more high frequency way. And consuming death is just a more dense consciousness.
Wow. I never looked at it that way, but that makes sense. But now they're finding out even plants have a consciousness.
Yeah, totally. And so there's many, this is a deep conversation.
Yeah.
And there's many layers to it. But in essence, we are moving towards the age of light. We are in the age of light, the age of information, the age of love, the age of truth. And that's what information is. That's what light is information, is truth. So I don't think it's a coincidence why we're seeing so many millions of people. Some people try to put it in this stigma of like, I ate vegan and it wasn't healthy. And it's like, that's because you weren't actually eating any real food. You were eating all the food that they brought here to make you sick.
Right. A lot of that vegan food is super bad. It has seed oils.
Yeah.
So the Beyond Meat is terrible.
Awful. It's horrible. It's not food.
They promote it like it's healthy.
Yeah.
I thought it was. They got me at first.
It's a matrix in a matrix. They create these things to be like these glittery pictures. So you go, here's vegan food. That's just what they want you to eat so you can still be sick.
Right.
What they don't want you eating is organic produce, lentils, kidney beans, garbanzo beans. That's real protein. That's real food that we should be eating. And sourcing our food from local people who is putting their heart, their energy into the food that is nourishing your body. And that's the way of the new earth of what we're creating here. Knowing the person, having a relationship with the person that is literally growing and putting their energy into our food, then that energy is nourishing our body. And that's what's going to continue to happen over these decades. And by no means are in 5 years or 10 years are people not going to be consuming flesh. That's going to be quite a few decades from now.
Right.
I don't know the exact timeline. But I really do believe that's the direction that we're headed.
I love it. I do agree that the cook plays a role in the taste of the food because I've had people with positive intentions and energy cook food for me and it's amazing, even though it's not the highest quality ingredients. And then I've had people that are negative cook expensive meals for me and it's not that good. You know what I mean?
It's energy.
It's energy.
The person is putting their love, their intention into what is nourishing your body. So we just have to continue to go back to a more intuitive scale that everything is energy. And so, of course, if we're getting a meal cooked from some super spiritually connected brother that is making our food and loves what he does, we're receiving that energy.
Right. Yeah, people don't even realize that.
Exactly.
You spent a week in the wilderness fasting. I need to hear this story, why you did it, what you learned, and I mean, how hungry were you, man, in the wilderness out there?
So in August, I started receiving messages that I needed to go to the mountains. And I was like, okay, how long am I going to go? Where am I going? You know, what am I doing there? And so a couple weeks before I went out to the mountains in the Pacific Northwest, I received that I was going out there for 7 days alone. And I was going to be fasting, no food, just fasting. And then only 3 or 4 days before I went out on my rites of passage journey to fast, to be into nature, I was guided to bring a bottle of ASEA redox signaling molecules. So I was planning on just doing water, but right before I went out, you know, my team, so to call it, they said you're bringing out 7 bottles of ASEA redox signaling molecules, 7 days, a bottle a day.
And can you explain what that is for people watching?
Yeah, so ASEA redox signaling molecules is very complex, but very simple at the same time if you can wrap your mind around it. This body is 60 trillion cells of saline, salt water, NaCl, sodium chloride. All ASEA is purified water, sodium chloride, and redox signaling molecules. And what redox signaling molecules is reductant and oxidant, positive and negative charge of electrons, energy. And what allows our cells to communicate with each other are redox signaling molecules. It's the only reason why our cells can talk to each other. So they figured out how to stabilize the signaling of our cells outside of the human body in a bottle.
Wow.
Incredibly profound.
Yeah, that is.
They were trying to do this for nearly 20 years, and they finally cracked the code after nearly 20 years of just saying, finally, okay, this is impossible. You can't stabilize redox signaling molecules. So the reason what makes it profound, just in a real simple essence, is, yeah, it's doing work on the body, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, on a multi-dimensional scale because of the work it's doing on the DNA and the genes. And no, there's no medical claims in this. So I always have to say that.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, it's profound, man. So the reason I got introduced to it, it was actually, when was it? April 2022, I found out my dog had terminal brain. Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I can't say the word, but you can figure it out. And so I prayed and prayed, and I said, you know, just give me something that is going to save my dog's life. 10 days later, someone reaches out to me via DM and says, hey, there's something you need to know about, and I feel it's going to resonate really deeply with you. And that came in the form of this blue bottle.
Wow.
ASEA. And so we watched our dog go from just defecating all over herself in her bed. She could barely stand. She was falling over in her own feces constantly. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And then 8 weeks later, we're like, whoa, this is working. And then 10 weeks, and then 12 weeks, and there's more change. And then we got to 5 or 6 months. Wasn't even the same dog.
Dang.
She's zipping around the hallway, spinning around in circles, and I'm just,
incredible.
My jaw's just on the ground. I just can't believe what I'm seeing. So being so passionate about health, and also I was very, very vocal about the jab and what it was doing to people's DNA.
Right.
And that's the most profound thing about ASEA redox, is what it's doing to the DNA, which is our genetic blueprint to the entire universe. That's why Big Pharma and the dark forces, that's why they tried to alter it. They tried to alter our DNA because it carries the answers to this entire ascension process.
Yeah.
So our DNA is the most sacred thing we possess.
I've seen you talk about activating ancient DNA memories, right?
Yeah. That's what we're here to do. That literally is the mission in a couple words, is activating our dormant DNA to usher in this new earth, this new existence.
Yeah, I really do believe we have past lives, hundreds of lives, and there's memories and lessons to be learned that we need to activate.
Yeah, without question. Yeah, and that lies in this universal God library. It's not out there. It's literally in here. And so that is our sacred work that we're here to do.
Yeah.
And so, when I went on my rites of passage journey, I brought out the 7 bottles of ASEA. I had my pack on. I was feeling pretty nervous because you can imagine going out into the mountains alone for 7 days. What is this going to be like?
Right.
And so I finally find my spot. I post up. I set up my tent. It like really sinks in that a friend of mine is not picking me up for an entire week.
Did you have your phone or anything?
I had my phone in my bag, but it was off.
Okay.
And so I set up for 7 days, and yeah, when I started just looking around, I was like, wow, you're here. And then I set up my ceremony altar, and I just dropped into prayer, and yeah, I just prayed for deep surrender and just to be with whatever was moving through me, no matter how intense or difficult or painful. And that week in the mountains was, wow, one of the most powerful weeks of my entire life.
Wow.
I mean, I just walked out of there an entirely different man. I felt as a man like I belonged. I felt like I had went through this initiation. And I knew that as I integrated what I experienced in those mountains, something that's so simple, breath, nature, the mountains, no food, and just myself. Not complicated, just this ancient remembrance of this time when we used to migrate, dozens or hundreds of miles.
Right.
During those times, of course, we went sometimes 2 weeks with fasting. Right? We were in such a deeper connection with ourselves, with nature, with God, with the elements, with the wind, with the water, with the sun. And so there is an alchemical transformation that happens for a man or for a human that goes on this type of journey, because it's a return to nature. It's a return to ourself. It's all those hours that we spend receiving external validation. Oh, your message is so great. Love your show. Oh, you're doing such great work. Like, there's none of that. It's just finding love within yourself in the present moment.
I love it. They call it an ego death, right?
You'll definitely go through an ego death when you're out there, for sure. You re-identify who you are when you come back from a journey like that. It's the most powerful thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Wow. I don't know if I could do 7 days, but I want to try something like that where I'm in nature immersed.
Yeah. 7 days definitely is a bit more hardcore, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the amount of days that I'm going to be taking men out into the wilderness is 4 days.
Okay.
So it's definitely like a big journey, but a lot less, expansive for an entire week.
Yeah, 4 days is doable. What do you think about those cave darkness retreats where you're in pitch black for like 3 days? Have you seen those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that also is a really powerful, transformative time. When we feel into answering a call like this, we say, oh, there's no way I could go out and do a rites of passage for 4 days. There's no way I could go and do a darkness retreat for 3 days or 4 days. But really, when we go into the darkness, it's a total surrender and softening that we're safe in the darkness, bringing us into our shadow and bringing in just love for whatever is coming fully present to us in every moment. So yeah, I haven't done one personally yet. I know the call will be there when it calls. But yeah, there's powerful medicine for us in the darkness to just be with what is without having to distract ourselves. Similar to the rites of passage journey, but the darkness retreat is going like fully in to just welcome in all of your habitual patterns, your projections, your disagreements with your children, your wife, your husband,
right?
Whatever, you're just welcome. You're with it all. And it's a continuous surrender over and over again. Once again, similar to the rites of passage, but the rites of passage for me resonates more because we are so disconnected to nature. And so many people are living in the cities.
Yeah.
And they're never grounding.
Never.
They're never hearing water. They're not seeing lakes. They don't see waterfalls. So that return to nature is returning back home to ourself.
It's massive.
To the kingdom within. And that's where we are needing to find God, not outsourcing our power out there, not waiting for someone to tell us what to do, not waiting for like, oh, how do I change the world? It's in you. The power is in you.
Right.
It's in your universal library, your DNA. That's holds everything of the codes, the information, the wisdom, the new earth technology, that unification of energies. is all right here. And so when we go on one of these journeys, someone actually, they might be able to hear that in a conversation, but to live it, to know it, to embody it after we go on a journey, whew,
I bet.
totally different thing.
Yeah. And people have all these traumas these days, right? And they think they need to go to therapists or whatever to get it released. But like you said, it's your own body that can do that for you if you know the proper techniques.
Yeah, exactly. And to go into this place that I'm going into this rites of passage journey, and I'm not going to be eaten by a bear, or I'm not going to get attacked by coyotes, or I'm not going to die out there. Your body knows how to fast. And I just want to preface this for everyone listening. A man's body is designed to fast. Some women's bodies work fasting, some do not.
Okay.
So for example, if you're like hypoglycemic and you're a woman, fasting's not going to work for you. But for a man, every man's body is designed to fast. And
Really?
to go, absolutely.
Is that because we were hunting back then?
Yeah, it just has to do with our reproductive organs.
Right.
Women carry a womb. So for their hormones, it's just for spiritual reasons, fasting can be very powerful for a woman, but not every woman is designed to fast. Every man is designed to fast, which I so believe this rites of passage journey is really the world that I envision for every man at one point to embark on this rites of passage journey, to return to nature, to return to himself, and then return back to his family a much more confident, much stronger, much more grounded, loving, compassionate man. The nature and the fasting just will change him.
I bet. That's good to know because I fast with my fiance, but she struggles more than me. So I'm going to give her some slack from now on.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. It might be for her. It might not be for her, but it's really up to her to feel whether she intuitively is called to that level of healing.
Right. Wow. This is also fascinating. There's certain people that are so spiritual that they say they can communicate with animals. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. As we continue to move forward in the coming years and decades ahead, we will have telepathic abilities with the animal kingdom.
Wow.
Absolutely. And that will evolve for every single person at a different rate. There are some people who have very, very deep connection to the animal kingdom, such as my beloved. She has one of the most powerful connections to the animal kingdom of anyone I know.
So are they all connected? Because you're saying kingdom. Like, is each animal group like part of the same consciousness almost?
Yeah. So this is a deep rabbit hole, but in essence, many people walk the earth viewing the animals as different, as separate from us.
Right.
Inside that cow, inside that lion, inside that dog is a soul, just like you and I. There's no difference. We are multidimensional beings, and only from an ego perspective and a programming perspective are we separate from the animals. And that is why as we continue to awaken, we will not desire to kill this cow. We desire to love it, to know it, to have soul connection with the eyes with it. And that will awaken within us for everyone on a different time. And once again, there is no judgment. If that is not present for you today, that's okay. But yeah, I really do believe that we are meant to live in harmony with the animal kingdom. And once again, when we go out and rites of passage journey, having this sacred communication with nature, this energetic exchange that was always happening when we used to live thousands of years ago, and everything we used came from the earth. There was always a sacred exchange with the rivers, with the waters, with the discomfort of the cold. We don't have that anymore. We're always comfortable.
Right. I think we're overeating as well. We were taught breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day growing up. And now it's like, no, fasting is way better for you, right? Intermittent fasting.
Eat 5 times a day, as many times as you can. Okay, for some women that does work.
Yeah.
But for me, and I would say for most people, I eat once a day or twice a day.
Same.
And I eat at 1 and 5, 1 and 6, or like 2 and 6. I don't want to be digesting food all throughout the day for breakfast, my most important meal.
Right.
I want to be optimized. I want energy to be flowing through me. I don't want my body to be constantly digesting food. So yeah, when we cut down our window time of eating, we're allowing energy, prana, healing, to move through our sacred vessel and to be more connected and not having energy constantly digesting food. It just makes sense, right?
I've seen it with podcasting. When I eat before I film, I feel brain fog every time. When I'm on a fast, episodes go amazing.
Yeah, you're way more clear. that energy is being directed in other areas, right? That you're not digesting food.
Yeah. And I look back at like public school, all the shit they fed us, and they made us eat breakfast and lunch, and you can't even learn when you're when you're eating that stuff. You know what I mean? You're just a zombie.
You're like KO'd after lunch. you're tired.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why whenever I do something like this, I'm always going to be in a fasted state. So I can be fully just tuned in, present, dialed, and just allow God to move through me fully.
Wow. It's really cool to see your journey, man, because prior to this 2018 incident, you were all about business, right?
So, yeah, prior to this 2018 journey, I was partying, was going out to Vegas nightclubs and staying out till 5, 6 a.m. with tables full of drugs and and constant women. Yeah, it was a very, very different man. Very, very.
Can't even picture that.
It's hard to imagine. People who know me from my old life, I was the life of the party. I was just always seeking outside of myself, new adventures, new things to do. Everything revolved around planning things to not be with myself.
Now you're in the present.
And now I'm constantly coming back to myself every day, just being with what is, transmuting energy, evolving, feeling immense gratitude and humbled every single day. This journey is so humbling because we're constantly redefining who we are as we continue to evolve at a rapid rate, especially right now moving into 2025. We're going to experience growth and evolution like we've never experienced before.
Wow. So what's causing this shift in consciousness? Because multiple guests have come on and said this now, and it seems like everyone's aligned on this shift, right, going on.
So we are constantly, one thing that's present throughout the universe always is change. And so the people who are having a really hard time right now are clinging on to this old earth that doesn't exist anymore. It's not the energetics of these old ways that we used to do things. For example, 3 men at the top making hundreds of millions of dollars, and all the people at the bottom, thousands of employees, get scraps.
Right.
This way of doing things is not sustainable. It doesn't work. The energetics of this will continue to dissipate because it is not moving into unity consciousness. And so as we continue to move into unity consciousness, it all revolves around people like you and I viewing each other as allies, not separated.
Interesting.
We are on the same mission, bringing in this new existence and taking down this dark death cult that's been attempting to control Earth for many, many millennia.
Right. So in order to achieve unity consciousness, money then would have to be thrown out, right?
So at some point, we will evolve. I believe we will evolve to a place where money will have little to no relevance. And some people will get really triggered when they hear this because they're like, right, that's attachment to the money.
Right.
That's attachment to this energy, this money that gives us freedom now with the world that we have. But I believe eventually we will come to a place in our planet's evolution where we will see every soul, every animal as our family, as our brother, our sister, and desire to be of service and to help others. There won't be this competition programming, lack frequency, poverty, starvation. All of these energies will continue to just melt away.
Yeah. I'm trying to envision this. I wonder what people's purpose, because a lot of people's purpose right now is money. So I wonder what that would look like if you just take that away, or it has little meaning.
Yeah. A lot of people fully identify as, I am this, I live here, this is my wife, I live in this house, and that is who they believe they are.
Right.
When the actual truth is that's a microfraction of who they are. As a multidimensional being, you've had many lives doing many different things in many different types of bodies. And this is just a snippet of who we are. And so as we continue to awaken and answer a call, for example, to a rites of passage journey, the identity is, I am this man, I'm connected to this money. Well, what if you lose every single dollar you have next week? Then who are you?
Right.
What happens?
It happened to me, and yeah, you go on a journey, man. Everyone needs to lose everything, I think.
Yeah. You need to lose this energy, people, friends, family members, people that are not in resonance with who you are and who you're becoming need to be let go in order to allow new energy to come in. And so the more we let go of things that are not who we're becoming, what we are, having a beautiful connection with money, for example, but not worshiping it, not putting it on a pedestal, but literally just realizing that, okay, with this money, I can be of service. With this money, I can help people.
Right.
With this money, I can give to people, make this world more whole. Money is not evil. That's the programming that we have received through the dark forces to believe that we're on a spiritual journey. We don't need money.
Right.
This is baloney. We can become extremely abundant, extremely wealthy, and do amazing things for humanity and help people.
Agreed.
And bring awareness to child trafficking, and bring awareness to malnutrition, bring awareness to the genocide in Gaza. So many things we can do with becoming more abundant. And I believe it's our birthright to be abundant. We are a manifestation of God. Is there lack in God? Absolutely not.
No.
God is infinite. God is boundless. There is no lack frequency in God, and we are a manifestation of God. And for all the listeners, when I say God, that has nothing to do with religion.
Right.
This word has been deeply inverted through religion, through the church.
Yeah.
And has got us when we hear the word God.
Yeah.
That, for me personally, I believe God is the highest aligned word when we're talking about the all, where we come from. And so, I invite everyone this is an invitation to maybe unpeel some of that programming of if you do have a trigger for that word, because that is where we are all returning back to.
That's powerful, because honestly, I had a slight trigger. I grew up Christian and just had weird experiences and saw what happened to my friends. So I'm glad you said that, because I agree.
I grew up Catholic. I was in the church, and I was going to church every Sunday, and I was just like, what are we doing here? I don't want to be here.
Yeah, for real, same.
It was not resonant. It didn't make sense to me. It felt confined. Like even my little self at 7 years old, 8 years old was like, this is bullshit. Like I knew it.
Yeah.
And so through completing it finally at 12 years old, when we finished going to church, I was like, thank God. And so once again, the dark forces put all these little matrix in a matrix to keep us in identifying as this, putting us in this box.
Yeah.
There is no boxes with God. There is no boxes or identities or I'm a Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm Methodist. These are all programs to get us from reaching our true divinity from within and seeing every soul, all sentient life as a part of us.
100%. Love that. Andrew, it's been really enlightening. Where can people find out about your rites of passage journeys, future events, and everything?
Yeah, you can find me at andrewgenoveshealing.com. And you can also find me at Breathe, Heal, Evolve on Instagram, Andrew Genovese on Facebook. I highly, highly recommend, if you're a man listening to this episode, to embark on this journey, within yourself. For me, it's going to be done with ASEA because of the work it's doing inside of the DNA and helping us reach maximum human potential. If we want to be healthy today, you guys, biohacking is an absolute. It's necessary to biohack our way into health with the amount that we're being poisoned on a mental, emotional, chemtrails, just a never-ending glyphosate, pesticides. To be able to biohack is of the essence to be fully aligned and embodied.
Yeah.
And so I hope everyone takes this journey of health, this journey of rites of passage, and makes a journey out into nature, even if it's just for 1 night or 2 nights. To be out in nature in a fasted state, you'll come back a different person.
Wow, I love that. Can't wait to try it.
Profound experience.
Can't wait to try that, guys. And I'm going to try the dimensional breath workout. Stay tuned on my Instagram to see the results. Thanks for coming on, man. That was a fun episode. Thanks for watching as always, guys. See you next time.